So the open G tuning really gives a different feeling for playing finger-picking guitar arrangements. It's a real full sound for this, just a closer walk with D. Now let's try to learn it. We're going to be having an alternating bass most of the time. It's just going to be going between the 6th and the 4th string. You could, of course, play the 5th, 4th, 6th, 4th. I'll leave that up to you, whichever one you feel is good. And it starts off where we're going to take a slide note. If you look at my left hand here, where we're going in with our middle finger, sort of playing games with it. In fact, this whole first phrase we're going to play, sort of tickle the guitar somewhat. So we have the melody, and then we slide up to this position with our middle finger and our index finger on the 4th frets of the 3rd string and the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And we're going to go down and down until we get a D7th chord. Now the full D7th chord in the open G tuning would be played like this. But we only need the top because we have our bass alternating. So we have slide, slide, back down. And then our ring finger just gets a little bit of a decoration around that D7th chord. So the first line. And then we go up to the 7th fret. So this would be a D chord. If this is a G, this would be a C. This would be a D. What could be easier? And we're pinching the bass with 2 treble notes with the 1st and 2nd strings. So we keep putting down the ring finger and the middle finger on the 9th fret of the 3rd string and the 8th fret of the 2nd string. So it's down, up, and then back down. Back down. And now here we go into this phrase here. This is around a G chord. If you were pretending you were in straight regular tuning, this would be an F position G chord. But we don't need our thumb, we don't need the 1st string being fretted. We're going to play around just with those 3 fingers. So what we have. Okay, so it's pull off from the 5th fret to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Then you put your index finger on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string and you're going to hammer. Pull off, hammer, ending up on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string and then sliding in with this octaves. So the whole sound here. And you're keeping your alternating bass going. And getting this sound, you really want a nice, full, rich sound of your guitar. So let's do it from the top up until there. All right, just check that you have it. D7, bar, into that G position. Now you're not actually playing in the G position, you're sort of fingering it around. Then we have the big sort of climax. So what is this? We play the octaves at the 9th fret of the 1st and 4th strings, and we just do a complete strum on the guitar. And then we pick up the alternating bass. We'll strum, let it breathe. And then we have our index finger and our middle finger on the 7th fret of the 1st string, middle finger on the 8th fret of the 2nd. And put a little bit of a twirl in with your fingers, a little vibrato, so it really rings out. And we go now to the C chord, which is just the bar on the 5th fret. And we just pull off the 7th fret of the 1st string against the bar. And then we go hit the 1st string, and we pull off the 7th fret of the 2nd string. This is a rather awkward fingering, but because you're already committed here with your index finger, it's sort of, usually I would play it like this, but we go into it like this, becomes more natural with the way the tune is fingering and the flow of it. So it's, we slide the middle finger, and then our ring finger comes down, and then our pinky comes down, and this is also a G chord. And then we've seen this position in regular tuning, but here we have our index finger on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, ring finger on the 7th fret of the 4th string. And we pick around that, and then hit the 3rd and 5th strings together, strum. And here we just have the octaves at the 2nd fret of the 4th and 6th string. Hit the 3rd and 5th open, and then you can just strum and get that one of the fingers, whether it's index, middle, or ring finger, on the 5th fret of the 1st string, just so when you're playing that open chord, it really rings out by having that high note there. All right, let's split the screen, and what we'll do is we're just going to play twice. We'll play the melody line. And then afterwards, let's talk about the contrast of doing some blues licks, some blues verses against it, and I'll talk about that by itself. So let's do the split screen, just a closer walk with thee.